Ready to go? All right. We are going to get started here. Thank you all for joining me today. You are at the Data Buffet, making your data digestible with Tableau. So I hope you're all hungry to start chowing down on some bits. Before we really get jumped in, we do. Why is this not advancing? It's not advancing. It's advancing on the separate one. So let me just jump back here. Sorry. We need to escape out of. Sorry. There we go. A little bit. Let me back up there for you. Okay, we've got to have the forward-looking statement before we jump in. I'm sure this is everybody's favorite slide of Dreamforce. You should be collecting a bingo card of how many times you've seen it. I think there might be a prize for whoever sees the most forward-looking statements before we wrap up. Continuing on, I just want to introduce myself real quick. My name is Kestrel Lowry. I'm a managing director of technical services at Cloud for Good, which is a consulting partner. I'll tell you a little bit about us later. That's not what you're here for, though. What I do is I manage all of our technical delivery at Cloud for Good, including things like my personal favorite, Tableau, as well as other Salesforce platform architecture, integrated systems. Speaking personally, I've been working on the Salesforce platform for about 13 years now, and at the intersection of technology, nonprofits, and higher ed for the better part of 2 decades. I am holding currently 19 Salesforce certifications, most recently the Data Cloud Consultant, got it this week. You should all try it, it's a fun one. But the one I'm most proud of is CTA, Certified Technical Architect. So if any nerds are in the room, happy to talk architecture later. I try to bring that technical rigor and well-architected approach to everything I encounter, and Tableau can be a critical part of working with the kind of data that you architect for there. For those who don't know anything about Cloud for Good, just real quick, we are a Salesforce implementation partner that helps nonprofit and higher ed and other impact-driven organizations to interact more meaningfully with their constituents and stakeholders. We bring over 10 years of experience to our implementations, working with every cloud and every use case. We have proprietary accelerators around data integrations and data visualization, such as with Tableau, specifically designed to help with digital transformation. And we are both the Salesforce 2021 Partner of the Year for Education, as well as 4 years running for the Partner of the Year for Nonprofits. So we really try to have that impact in moving our clients forward. Now let's get to the fun stuff. This is what we're all here for, right? I promised you some Tableau. So let's first talk about the data challenge. Organizations are dealing with a whole host of challenges right now. We have staffing shortages, we have tight budgets, but then there's this challenge of the influx of data coming in also. We have data coming from a variety of sources from our customers and constituents, and it's siloed. It's not all necessarily kept in the same place. So here we have Sam. This is just a picture of some of the different data that we might have about Sam. It's difficult to really get a wraparound view because we may see her engaging in several campaigns over a few years. She may have purchased or made a donation to an organization. She may be reading blog posts. She may be opening emails. But we don't really have a good way to have a good relationship with Sam because we can't see all the details. Furthermore, we don't have a way to understand what Sam is doing and how that connects to the trends of other constituents and customers that we're working with. We don't know what Sam has in common with people. We don't know what makes Sam different. And without being able to get that understanding of trends with our data in these silos, it makes it very, very challenging for us to really connect with her and make her more engaged with our organization. So what do we have to do? The problem is that managing data is complex. System managers and IT are already spending a ton of their time, 36% of their time, building custom integrations, managing data quality, getting data together, and this is just gathering it into one place. This isn't even getting to the fun stuff of visualizing and analyzing it yet. All of these processes take a lot of time in the day. Who in this room spends a good chunk of your time managing data? A lot of us, right? We all need tools that are going to help us get more value out of our data faster. Once we get all of this time into the data cleansing and the ETL, what do we do next so that we can actually get that single source of truth and use it to drive our decision making? You probably all already know why it is important to collect your data. You need it so that you can actually get out of the silos. When you're in that data silo, it's harder and it's less efficient to make your data-driven decisions. You're spending more time aggregating things from multiple sources, trying to get a perspective on it, putting it into a pivot table. The number of people I know that are still using Excel to analyze their data instead of something like business intelligence tooling, it makes you much less efficient. You don't have a streamlined way to understand your trends of what's happening for your organization and for your constituents. And then finding a way to understand all of that data together and break it down into digestible chunks is really critical to provide an improved experience for your staff and for your customers so that people can spend less time getting overloaded at that data buffet and actually have a satisfying meal where you can have digestible chunks of it and understand here's what we have, here's what we need to do next. So what are our different solution options? There are several ways that Salesforce does help us to understand our data. There's, of course, our tried and true Salesforce reports. They're configurable, they're directly on the platform. It's an easy step to just get in there, but as we all probably know, there's some limitations in what you can report on across objects, the type of volume you can work with, what sorts of calculations and analyses you can do in that standard reporting. Next up, there's CRM Analytics, which is a web tool. It embeds directly into Salesforce. It gives you actionable insights within your CRM on that data. You can have some data visualization power there. That helps to improve your productivity, improve your collaboration, and can start defining the trends. Next one, the one we're all here today, is Tableau, which does offer an end-to-end analytics platform that allows you to explore findings across a broad range of data. You can consume data from Salesforce, from Marketing Cloud, from Commerce Cloud, from AWS, from any other system that you're working with, anywhere that you have data, and use Kit, build your visualizations so that you can really understand across your silos and break down those silos. I also do have a Pure Data Cloud, which is an adjacent solution to Tableau, because it uses real-time data so that and to consume data ingesting through different connectors so that you can harmonize data across all of your different work streams, get a unified profile, and build segments and actionable insights off of that. So while we're not going to get deep into Data Cloud today, it's a powerful tool to add alongside something like Tableau. So it's an and, not an or. So let's really focus in on Tableau and what it helps for connecting with your data points. It can take and drive decisions and data backing and also allow you to share that information across your organization. It's a drag and drop tool. You can also get more into scripting and defining specific calculated insights for the more technical folks in the room, but it does have a point and click way that people can get started right away with Tableau. It lets you act collaboratively. It has security models so you can make sure that the right access is being provided to the right people with your data. You're not going to take and blow open just because someone can't see something in CRM. You don't want to give them access to the row-level data then in Tableau. You might want to give them access to a trend or a high-level computation of it. And then with that, you can make your decisions knowing that you have a high-level, confident data set that can guide your strategy as you're working through it. As I said already, I warned you, I'm a nerd, so I'm going to get a little bit into the architecture here of how Tableau does it. So let's dive in. With the layers of architecture, Tableau can be deployed in a variety of environments. It can run on a local server if you have particular security concerns with it. You can have it running in the cloud. You can connect it to just about any data source that you can think of, whether that's a cloud data source, a file, an FTP, AWS, connecting things in from Salesforce, database drivers, custom APIs. There's ways to bring that data into Tableau so that you can build visualizations and intelligence on it. From there, it supports data transformations and cataloging to build data sets that you can be confident in, and then building those visualizations so that you have a picture and can highlight both your trends and your outliers across the data set so that you really, really can see not just what's normal here, where does Sam fit into the picture, but what's at the top of the trend, what's at the bottom of the trend, how can we bring that up? There's even a layer of AI that comes into Tableau that can help you better understand your data and also think predictively about what's coming next. Your end users can use natural language processing, so they can just ask a question of the data, like, what was the performance last quarter for the targeted campaign, and actually get a response back from Tableau that intuits what they're trying to understand and guides them through the data. So it allows you to move beyond the days of IT having to build one fixed canned report that then everybody's trying to use to understand it. It's all about empowering end users so that they can become consumers of the data and data explorers on their own. it gives them an explanation of the chart that they're seeing too, so that they can understand and become a more intelligent consumer of that data. Now, these Tableau visualizations can be embedded into Salesforce reports. They can be accessed via mobile devices. They can be shared via Slack. So it's really accelerating your understanding across platforms. It doesn't have to just be limited to a desktop experience. And so this really is what it takes to turn this data buffet into a feast where everybody can come away from it satisfied. Don't take my word for it, though. Let's take a chance to actually see Tableau in action. So I'm going to pull it up here. Let's hope that my demo cooperates with us. All right, we are winning today. So I have, of course, I just minimized it. There we go. So this here is a dashboard that my organization has built. I am a major gift officer with a giving portfolio that is focused in the Pacific Northwest. And so this dashboard gives me a view of a map of major donors, of giving year over year, and what's happening in my portfolio. Now, as I've been working with this dashboard, this high-level overview lets me see not just how my portfolio is doing, but also how my colleagues are, so that I can both learn from them and also collaborate. It's a dynamic dashboard, so I can take and filter it here. If I select a different filter, like going by number of gifts, the entire thing is going to refresh so that I get a new picture of what's happening here. Let's go back to our dollar value, though. And so as a gift officer, I've noticed that my colleague down in California has a portfolio that's performing much more strongly than mine. I want to drill in and get a better sense of what's happening there. So if I actually click on any indicator on a chart, the whole dashboard dynamically refreshes so that I can get a better understanding of what's happening there. This, I'm using my donor portfolio as an example, but imagine what you can do with customers, with orders, with support tickets, anything that you might want to visualize so that your coworkers can better understand their workload and your clients. So once I refilter that down, clicking on the dot for California, it dynamically updates to show just the results for California, and I can start looking into the pipeline and gifts for the region, have an understanding of my colleague's portfolio. One thing I'm noticing is that she has a whole bunch more organizational donors than major donors compared to what I saw in my own breakdown, and I want to drill in a little bit further. There's a helpful tool to help me if I want to understand more about what's happening in the data. I can open up what's called the data guide. The data guide gives me more of an understanding of what data is included in this dashboard and starts giving me different detected outliers so I can understand what's happening here and what is unusual in the data set. If I select further into specific individuals here, it'll even give me the opportunity to do something like what's unique about this specific organization. You could use that drilling into specific segments or specific areas and trends you see. Anywhere it starts finding significant data, it'll give you these what's unique prompts. If I were to click it, then it's going to give me a detailed analysis of what makes this different or similar from other data in the data set and recommendations of how I can maximize those results. I'm not going to click and trigger that analysis right now in the interest of time, but you can imagine how powerful that's going to be. It does give you a really great way to have a better understanding of your data, and you can start seeing how a well-designed dashboard guides data exploration and questions about your organization's most important asset, your data. So I'm viewing this right now in desktop, but it could also be embedded into a page in Lightning so that it could be collaborated in Chatter. I could take and interact directly with records related to it and really start collaborating further with my colleagues. Another thing I want to show is the ability to actually jump over from this dashboard to one, sorry, I'm running here a little behind my own back. I can jump over to a linked dashboard of campaign management that then is going to actually give me the same filter I'd already selected carries over to the dashboard, so you can build linkages between different dashboards you're interacting with and get a better and deeper understanding of what's happening. So here I have zooming in on that California targeted California campaigns, so different fundraisers and things we're using to engage with our donors. Same as the other dashboard, this supports taking and zooming in to click on a specific different part of the data set as I start to explore and understand what's happening with one part of the organization and use that to be able to guide and maximize what I could be doing differently with my strategy, really driving my decision making from there. So that brings us to the end of our quick little Tableau dashboard demo, just to start giving you a taste of the buffet, what you could build and what could be possible for you as you get further into the journey. We didn't have to go with the recorded version because it actually cooperated on screen. Let me just skip past that here. So you're probably wondering now, if you're as excited about Tableau as I am, how do we get there? What do you need to do to actually get actionable insights out of your data and start getting those visualizations that can drive your team? The first step is going to be cleaning up your data and reviewing all of where your sources are stored, where your silos are, and what you need to do to get it to a data set you can be confident in. Putting bad data into Tableau is unfortunately going to give you bad data outcomes. It's not going to fix your data just to put it all in a pretty place. Then you're just going to have really nice pictures of data you can't rely on. So it's critical to first get your data clean and get your data to a place that you can be confident in. Next, think about your goals and your KPIs that you want to visualize. So you don't want to just put everything into Tableau. To start with, I mean, you could, but it's going to be hard to actually know what you're going to report on if you don't load things in with a vision of how you're trying to analyze it and visualize it first. So think about what you actually want to get out of those first visualizations as a starting point. You can always build and grow from there. Next, you want to think about unifying your data. So that's taking and getting your data in through the different connectors in Tableau so that you can start connecting your data sets, getting out of silos and into something that scans across your CRM, your ERP, your marketing tools, and really gives you that connected and unified picture. Finally, I may be a bit biased since I work for a partner, but you're not alone. And so if you're looking for a way to get started with building your own data buffet here, then there's an amazing network of consulting partners out there who understand your business processes intimately and can help you get started. Cloud for Good has over a decade working with organizations so that we can help understand the best practices and the challenges your organization is facing and bring some different accelerators so that you can get to outcomes faster. Next up, come on. It doesn't want to advance for me. Let me see here. There we go. So if you want to learn more, and who wouldn't, Tableau is great. You know, there's a lot to be done, and we have barely taken a taste here. There are a whole bunch of other great sessions that you might want to check out. So later today, there's a session actually on generative AI with Tableau that I recommend taking a look at. That's going to be upstairs on Moscone West. You can also go and do a bit of a Tableau test drive tomorrow, so getting a little bit more of a deeper harbor tour than where we were able to get to today. Tableau Prep, that's a great tool for getting your data actually aligned and harmonized within Tableau. That's another session you can check out tomorrow. And then Tableau's Vision for the Future of Analytics is going to be happening tomorrow as well. I'd recommend that. Another thing, if you haven't made it up there yet, up on level 3, they have a whole Tableau section where you can get some more personalized demos, get a little bit hands-on with the tool, and get some more questions answered about what it could do for you and for your organization. That brings me to the end of what I had today. Thank you all for joining me at the Data Buffet. I would appreciate your feedback on this session. Feedback always helps us to improve, and so if there was something you liked or something you thought could be done a little bit differently, feel free to scan the QR code and send in some feedback. I would appreciate it. With that, have a great day, everybody. Thank you for joining me. And anybody has questions, I'll be available for a few minutes after the session.
Thank you for watching.
Thank
We
you
would love
all.
to get
Enjoy
your opinion on
Dreamforce.
this content, so please leave us some feedback on the comment section below. If you did like this content, give that like button a tap. And of course, if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the Salesforce Admins YouTube channel. If you want to learn more about being a Salesforce admin in general, head on over to admin.salesforce.com. Thanks again.